Hey y'all. Um, Today I want to talk about basically learning or listening to life in such a way that you're not blocking. And I want to talk about how to do that. And I think it's something that, like, that's where everyone should start in trying to better themselves in their lives. And so I think the most important thing that I've learned is to drop your assumptions and check what you think you know. Just check it out, whatever it is you think you know. If you think you know that the sky is blue, like, give it up. And I just feel like then you open yourself up to new experiences and new ways to learn things, and you become more receptive to life generally. A situation happens that you see differently and you learn from it, and you're like, oh wow, I never would have seen that based on previous assumptions. And um, that basically is the kind of discussion that I'd like to have or present. Another thing that just last night really hit me is that you have to not know in order to learn. And I had to say it a few times to myself to really understand it, is that you have to not know in order to learn. Because if you think you know, you're not willing to look. And if you're not willing to look, you're not going to see anything. And so basically have the willingness to look inside of yourself and see what assumptions you're making and what set conclusions or set ideas that you think you have about the world and about the people around you, but most importantly about yourself. And really put them in check and be honest with yourself about the assumptions that you're making. If you've decided that someone's bad based on a one-time experience, and you're just like, oh, this person's just horrible. Every time you get around this person, you're just, up in tension and a tizzy and whatnot. And I just feel like maybe let that go. It's probably a big assumption that you've made based on a one-time experience. If you think for whatever reason that you haven't done something in like just one given time that someone else just interpreted as a bad thing, and now you're a bad person to them, if you think you haven't done something like that, you're definitely wrong. Everyone's making silly assumptions like that based on little to no information. Let's just go ahead and, if we're going to assume anything, assume that you don't know anything about anyone conclusively, and you don't really know anyone, fully, because it's hard to fully know a person. They're always changing. Last week, I'm not the same. Yesterday, I'm not the same as I was today. Always changing, always learning, always growing. And if you hold people and situations and places to these set ideas and assumptions, you're basically just going to be living a lie and reiterating these lies into this delusion of life that causes you pain. If you don't like something, it doesn't do anything but create a negativity within yourself, and it doesn't do anything to anyone else really, unless it starts to outwardly manifest. If you start to lash out, or you are being just generally snotty over some kind of situation or something, that then of course it manifests outwardly. But in most of the ways, it mostly affects you. Even then, it would affect you still more deeply if you're so affected by something that it causes you to outwardly, outburst, be angry, say things just generally. Then you're still feeling the most prominent tension, or most of the tension. So a way to really let go of those kind of things is to, again, just reevaluate what you think you know, and be honest about it. I think a lot of times we lie to ourselves, which is why I feel like everyone's just a hypocrite, because you don't like this thing that person does, but that's what you do. But you lie to yourself about it, or you excuse yourself. You have reasons for being that way, or you just blatantly don't see it. And I think that if we would, again, open ourselves up enough, we would start to see those things, become more empathetic and more understanding to those things that we deem negative or see as bad, and really start to find ourselves with more peace because we're not, fighting all these things. But it's mostly what I wanted to talk about is just opening yourself up to being able to learn to, lead a more peaceful, more happy life. I think this is good for, any aspect of life, whether you're dealing with like family problems, work problems, relationships, and especially just yourself. A lot of times it doesn't have to be about other people. I bring up other people so much because I feel like through other people I learn so much about myself. I see other people being hypocritical, and then I'm like, I must be being hypocritical because it's just something that people do. If everyone around me is doing it, there's a high probability that I'm a part of it too, because we all grew up and we're all in this like together. We've all got a bunch of shared habits and shared delusions, so it's easy to be able to turn whatever I'm seeing of someone else back on myself. And that's the whole purpose for me, is always about myself and growing myself. Because if I become a better person and I see things better, I don't need anyone else to be better. I don't even see them as bad. I don't see that anyone needs to be better. I'm happy, and that's good, because that's all that matters to me. Is if I'm happy, I'm happy. Who cares, So, and I think to me that's the real purpose, is to find like your own peace and happiness and joy in life. So to take everything and just turn it inward and really be honest and look at yourself and what you're doing to cause and breed negativity in your life, whether it be, set ideas, assumptions, or what have you. So I think that's it. So have a good day. I love you all. Bye.